Beats by Low into a business beat.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Here's the Thing. We are here. We are excited. This is our show. We're ready to make this thing happen. This is Nick.
Hey guys.
And that's Nat.
Hello there.
And I'm Ron. So this is where we're at. What we doing? What we talking about? Opioid crisis. Okay, yeah, we are talking today. We really have a serious topic. We like to have fun. We like to smile and joke and enjoy each other's company. But for real, we actually have a really serious topic today. We are really going to discuss the opioid crisis today. It is something that's plaguing not only our community, but it's plaguing the nation worldwide.
Yes.
And we have some different takes and some different directions on this topic. So, Nick, come on. What's your take right now?
Okay, so it's weird because at first I was one of those people that, and I'm sure that you guys have maybe been around or heard of the sentiment that in the 80s and the 90s, the crack cocaine epidemic wasn't treated like an epidemic. It was criminalized and all that. And now that we have this opioid crisis in America, I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm not, and so what? Like, but then after doing research and realizing that it's not even about racism now, this whole opioid crisis for me is about greed, it's about money, and nobody's really going after the people that they need to, which in my opinion would be the pharmaceutical companies. Yeah. So that's just my take on it. I see how much money they're making, even starting out with the Oxy and getting people who didn't really need Oxy on Oxy. Once they get hooked and their prescriptions run out, then they go to the next best things, which are street drugs, and heroin being one of them. So that's why it's become such an epidemic, because it's affecting school teachers who got in a car accident and they leave work, and now they're at home taking these pain relieving medications and get addicted. But the pharmaceutical companies are making, what did I say? Teva Pharmaceuticals, $18.9 billion in revenue last year. And they produce Oxy, which gets people hooked on heroin, and then they also produce Narcan. Mm-hmm. Like, they doing both sides, getting all the coin. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, that's the people that I feel like we need to be targeting. So that's my take on it. The pharmaceutical companies are the villains in this whole scenario.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so when you say targeting, what exactly do you mean?
I mean cracking down legislation, paying attention, stopping the business, not just having them pay a fine. Because I think Purdue Pharmaceuticals, they paid like in 2007, like $600 million. It was a case. But they're still going on to still manufacture Oxy to this day.
And making billions.
So
now.
$600
million is just a drop in the bucket.
Right. So it's nothing for them. And if no legislation is passed, if you and I, we both work in the industry where they have these pharmaceutical dinners all the time, where the purpose is to wine and dine doctors and nurses to carry certain drugs in the hospital. It's all a business. Right. And it's all about money and corporate greed. And I feel like that's what needs to be cracked down on. I didn't mean to say crack down, but girl, no, I didn't mean to use that. I could have came up with something better. But yes, that's what needs to be addressed, in my opinion.
I agree. I think that a lot of people look at it as a white America problem, and I did see that myself as it being a white America problem, but I don't see that anymore, because after like doing my own research as well, I found out that 80% are white Americans, the other 20 are us, and with the pharmaceutical thing is that, like a lot of white America, most of them middle-class white people are like in construction or doing jobs where like they get back problems, they're working in the cop, and they start taking these, pills, and then they're on heroin. So that's why I think it affected them the most, because they're the ones that was in that industry where they get the pain and need like all them kind of medications. So I think the pharmaceutical company definitely took advantage of that. Because I used to work in the medical field, and before we could just write Percocet prescriptions all day long, whatever you need. And then I guess when it was like the crackdown, then they had to like go through so much to like prescribe Percocet, whatever the case may be. But they still prescribe them, they still get them. To the point now where they have like a black market where they make fake Percocets. Like they make fake, like they make fake pills, and like it's all with fentanyl and everything in there. So it stems from them, but they basically just set the trend for everything when it comes to like the whole opiate problem. Having a brother that passed away from opiate overdose, it's not just white America no more. I've seen like Instagram posts of young black men saying they got shot and they getting Percocets. They didn't realize the effect of Percocets and they think they're on heroin. So it's not just a black or white thing. It's a problem all around the board, period. Because again, school teachers, you know, everyone that are being affected from it. I mean, Kensington Beach is a whole area with just people, a whole neighborhood of people just literally out there just, hey, I'm on their heroin. No one cares no one's doing anything. We're giving them safe places to like shoot up at. And I appreciate Narcan. I appreciate Narcan, but I feel like it's like saying it's okay. Like, don't worry if you overdose. We'll bring the life of Narcan. Like, it's like I know that we all want our loved ones to come back. I wish that we had Narcan at the time my brother passed away, that we can bring him back. And the crazy thing about it was some in the closet we didn't even know about. But it's still like, okay, you're just like, wash it down. Okay, just give everybody Narcan. Like, every cop in the corner has Narcan. So go ahead and overdose. Go ahead. Okay, you're back to life. Go overdose again.
You know, something that you said that stuck out to me, you said about the 80-20 thing, like 80% are, or 20% are people of African descent or African Americans. And, you know, something I paid attention to, I learned was that with racism comes, with the racism came with the opioid thing where they would not allow black people to get the same prescriptions as white people because they thought that we would sell them. Right. So there's a whole disparity with that because we would only, like, if, for instance, we went to get our wisdom teeth taken out, they would only give us 6 pills where they would give a white person 90-day supply. Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's kind of why we aren't as hooked on the opioids as as white people would, for instance. And so that was very interesting that you said that because I just learned about that actually recently. Yeah, me too. So yeah, that's crazy. But I want to ask you guys about kind of the lack of compassion that the United States or that our government had when it came to the crack epidemic, when it affected people of color, versus all this compassion that they have with the opioid addiction. Yeah. So what do you guys think is the difference? Because I think it's absolutely crazy. Because when we were criminalized, we were put in jail, we were we were treated like second-class citizens. It was this whole thing, and then now it's a different drug. It's affecting a different race of people. Yeah. Now it's all this compassion. Now we want to have what do you call them, the
safe injection sites.
Thank you. The safe injection sites and all these things. We want to help these people. Right. When we were on it, they want to throw us in jail or let us die. Yeah. You know?
Go ahead.
So, I think that it's definitely a favoritism towards it being more of an epidemic for them. But when it was us, it was Reagan. Right. But his campaign, which was funded on drug money, by the way, that was, say the no to drugs thing campaign, locking us up, taking mothers from, their kids and, all these things like that. And again, it's an Instagram page called Kensington Beach, and they post like so much stuff. There was a video on there of a woman with her baby out there on her, and the baby's with her. But like in the back, if it was us, they would have gave the baby to foster care, somebody somewhere else, and that would have been it. So I think that it's definitely a different treatment with us. I think it was a weapon for us. It was used to break down our communities, tear our families, because the family is the unit. Right, the family is the unit. And if you could break the family down, the black family down, like you won with breaking the black family down. So they was like breaking our families, getting our men out the way, because the men is the threat, getting the men in jail, getting them out the way, leaving them out here to be by themselves. And I think that was more of like a weapon, if anything. It was a weapon.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. Well, one thing that I've noticed too, I mean, since those times in the 80s, late 80s, and when the crack epidemic was filtered into our communities, one thing about us, and one of your words was resilient, we actually kind of came out of it. Oh, yeah. As a culture. Absolutely. And we did it without the help of. Right. You know what I mean? And I think that's just a testament to how black people are resilient and how we've overcome different things and we're still overcoming, and we got a whole bunch of shows.
To find something new to use. Like,
as a weapon
when slavery was over, then it was Jim Crow. When Jim Crow was over, then it was crack in the 80s, and criminalization and locking us up over.
Now they're freeing us and giving us fentanyl and everything.
Yeah, they're freeing us and giving us fentanyl so we can die on the streets.
Right.
With that them. Part. Yeah, that's a crazy thing. Nick, I know that you had mentioned something to me about, we were talking about the safe injection sites, and you brought it up, but we talked about it. So I don't know if I feel the same way that you feel.
Well, it's
so
a polarized issue, I'm sure.
Yes.
I mean, there's people who have all sorts of things. My take on it is, what Natalie was kind of referring to earlier, it's like a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It's not going to solve the problem. But somebody who's just trying to take their daughter to school and they don't have to see that on the way to take their daughter to school, it gets them off of the streets. It also gives them a space to maybe have safer injections. If that's what they're doing, they have clean needles there. You know, it makes it safer, but it doesn't solve the problem at all.
Well, when did they find a dope dealer?
Well, that's a good question.
You're giving them a place to safely shoot up dope. Where is the dope coming from? Where is the dealer? Why hasn't he been busted or cracked down at? Like, I don't understand. Like, when it was crack, he went to bust through people's houses like everybody else, doing indictment lists out this world. You know, my husband did 16 years. His whole life for, you know, he sold drugs, but I mean, the level was going on now for what they were doing back then. It makes no sense. So where's all that happening? When it was crack, you gave us football numbers. So this is jail forever. I know guys who I went to school with who are still in jail serving lifetime for selling crack cocaine. But little, but you know, you have a whole area in Kensington where they could just shoot up dope, sell dope, give out free dope. I mean, like, it's crazy.
And it's almost okay. That's what I think that's what's bothering me, is that they're saying now that we are not only are we going to give you a safe space, but we're going to give you clean needles. Right. We're going to give you counseling. Right. So it's almost you're saying to me, or you're saying to people who are, and please, I'm very, very conscious of that scenario. Like, I'm not trying to be insensitive to it, but for saying, I guess it's kind of an oxymoron. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So it's like, if you're going to do it, we're going to give you a safe space to do it because you're going to do it anyway. Versus, let's find the root of this problem. Let's try to kill this problem.
Therein, I think, lies the issue for a lot of people who are pro-safe injection sites. If you just say, if you're going to do it, you don't have a choice to do it. Like, once you start taking opioids, it changes your body physically and mentally. And you feel like you can't live without this thing. Okay. So it is a disease. It is something that people, once you get hooked, and it could be, like she said, a school teacher, anybody who was prescribed opioids could then become a heroin addict, because the numbers, the millions that these pharmaceuticals are making, the purpose of it was to be addictive.
So the message that to me, let me ask you this question, both of you guys. The message that it sends to me is that, okay, let's look at the younger generation coming on. Mm-hmm. They're saying, well, it's safe now because I have a safe place to do it. Now, is it okay for me to do it?
No.
I don't feel like that's what it's saying. I feel like that's the message that it could be sending to some, but just like legalizing marijuana, right? I don't feel like it's going to make everybody want to start smoking. Some people are just going to be like, I mean, you can if you want to, but that's just not my thing. I don't think that having a safe injection site sends the message across the board that we are pro heroin. Like, I don't feel like
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there is a safe place to do it if you want to try it, and we know how.
If you want to try it,
yes.
I don't believe that.
Everybody tries it. Not everybody. That's not what I mean. Not everybody tries. So I'm saying that people who do try it, now you're saying that there is a safe space to do it. To me, it opens up the door for more people to tip their toe in, because now there's an opportunity.
Well, see, you can't tip your toe into heroin.
That's
scientifically, like, I did my whole scientific research.
Saying.
So what heroin does is, the difference between heroin and crack is definitely addictive, but crack is not attached to your brain.
Right.
Your brain naturally has opiate receptors. Like, when you eat something, you're like so happy or whatever. It's dopamine that's released from your brain naturally on its own. Heroin, when you take it, it naturally attaches to your opiate receptors. So it releases all of that at one time. You feel euphoria, you don't feel pain, you feel great. So now your body becomes dependent on it. So no matter what you do, you can't shake this. Like my brother, you know, I have read his letters to himself, and he has cried letters about how he wants to get off of heroin, and it calls him in his sleep. Like, he can't, like, you know, he can't, and he wanted to so bad, and I know he wanted to. Like, I read what he said, and it was like something that he just cannot get off his back. He said it was a demon. He said he felt like he lost his soul. Like, he was an empty shell. His soul was gone once he tried it, and he could not get off of it. So I think part of the reason why they're having these safe injection sites, because they understand that this is not like other, like, addictions. This is addiction that is like a more of a brain mental thing that people just can't say, okay, you know, 90 days clean, get off of. You can be 90 days clean, and it's still in the back of your mind calling you to take it. So I think they're just trying to be like more safe than sorry. I'm not, you know, saying I'm condoning safe injection sites, but I understand that the opiate problem is different than the crack problem, different than weed, different than any other drug because it attaches to your body. Your body produces, or it's a part of your body, so it's a little bit different in getting off of it. Like people that get off gotta take Suboxone. You just can't even get off. You gotta go through methadone clinic. Like it's not just like okay, I'm done. You know what I mean?
And the fact that they throw around, oh, weed is a gateway drug. No. Oxy is a gateway for many. I mean, anybody who's in pain, anybody that's having surgery or was in a car accident or anything, you can be prescribed a Percocet, you can be prescribed Oxycontin, you can be prescribed this from your doctor, from your family doctor. You are not out there wanting to party. No, you're just going to work. And your family doctor just gave you this prescription, and now that has taken control of your life.
Let me offer you guys this. So there's a little bit of a controversy with building different safe injection sites in different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a thing. So I think the main thing is certain neighborhoods don't want those injection sites there because they fear what it's going to bring.
Right.
How do you guys feel about that? Because I think I live in a decent neighborhood. I think if somebody put a safe injection site right next to my place where I live, I might would have an issue.
They're not going to put it there. So I've been.
But they're saying they're putting it in other neighborhoods.
So the county that they're targeting right now is Bucks County and Delaware County. Like I've been kind of doing like my homework and watching what's been going on. And the city of Philadelphia is being like, gentrified and taken back up. So like the counties now, well, it wouldn't be Montgomery County, of course. That's a rich neighborhood. They're not bringing it out there at all. But, my mom lives in Bucks County. And I've been living out there for 10 years. And I've seen how it was to like now. I'm like, what happened out here? Like, it's like they're all transitioning and buying, like, doing like the little homes and stuff out there for them to be able to stay at and be able to have a safe site. So they're transitioning them into Delaware County, into Bucks County. So those two counties will be where mainly all the injection sites will be. They're going to pick and choose. They're not going to put it in, Fishtown or like Brewery Town or one of the up and coming where the property value was like, skyrocket, but they're not going to mess their money up. Money come first.
Okay, money talks.
Money come first. But it'll definitely be in other counties where the property value isn't where it needs to be at right now. And, watch it through there. Like 69th Street, I've noticed that because the L comes from Frankfurt down there. Now it's like getting really crazy out there. Like that's the spot right now. So they're Delaware County, of course, though. That's that's part of Delaware County. So it's just like they know where they're going to put them at. Like they're not going to sprinkle them all over. You're not going to see an injection site downtown, Rittenhouse. You're not. You know what I mean? You're not going to see one down there, of course. So I have a question.
Yes.
So my question is, how do you feel the music industry like? Do you think it's an influence on the opiate use? Like, how do you feel about that?
I don't think that it has caused. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Is it catchy? Yes. Pop a perk. All that. Yes. It's catchy. Do I feel like numbers wise, that is the cause of the uprise in cases of opioid users? Not significantly.
Not in our community.
Well, then that's what needs to be kind of gauged. In our community, in our community, music is a huge influence, right? But in just users at large, I don't feel like hip hop, R&B, whatever music is putting it in their genre, lyrics and things like that. It's spiking the numbers up.
So let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
How do you feel like it's affecting our community, music-wise? Not the majority, our majority.
Yeah.
The melon majority.
I think that, ever since I was growing up, I feel like it's always been like, oh, you do real drugs. It was always a difference. Like, black people, we know, okay, now we gonna go, we want to party like the rest of them, but we not, wait a minute now. Now you doing that crazy stuff. You want to do what? You want to grab a needle? The crystal meth, it's rotting your mouth out. Oh, no, we're not here for that. Like, it's a limit to what we gonna do. And I feel like, is it catchy? Like I said, is it in the music? Do you hear it? Yeah. Do most of the people I know who want to party, they're smoking weed? Like, they're not doing that hard stuff. They're not.
I'm going to disagree with you, but
I'm going to disagree a little bit as well. I mean, first of all, especially within our community, the music, I think, has more of an influence than in other communities, just in my opinion. I think when rappers wanted to, hip-hop artists wanted to wear the gold chains were a thing. When hip-hop artists wore a certain thing, that was a thing. When the hip-hop artists smoked weed became a little bit more of a situation.
Drink the 40s and smoking weed.
Yeah, that was a thing.
But I think people's always smoking weed. Even back to jazz music. Like, they've always smoked weed.
Yeah, but I think that with this Percocet, cause I mean, it's not just perks. It's like you start talking about, like, especially in Texas, the lean is a thing.
Yeah,
people weren't doing lean until they heard.
And that is part of the opiate, the promethazine.
That's what I'm saying. So I think I think
that's regional, though.
I mean, but I can agree with that, but they do it
Somebody's
too.
doing it,
But the question was, how is it affecting our community? And I think that it does have an effect, and I think that that's something that, and that's why I'm proud of different artists like Killer Mike, T.I., and David Banner, who are actually talking about certain issues like that, because we definitely. We tend to just kind of go with the flow of black people in general. You know, so this is what we're doing as a culture, and that's what they see, especially younger generations. We tend to kind of do that, and I think that we do have a lot of influence, and I do think that the hip hop or just the music industry in general needs to have a little bit more accountability, and it should be something that's spoken about for sure. Definitely.
I was gonna say the same thing, but no, I think that the problem with our community, I think that when we think of opiate epidemic, we just think of like shooting up heroin.
Right.
It's not just that. It's Percocets. It's pills. It's prescription drugs. It's, promethazine. It's taking syrup. It's all those things. Molly has heroin in it. You know what I mean? Ecstasy, whatever you want to do. Like, all that stuff has it. So I think that when a rapper is saying pop a Molly and all that, the young people, they follow behind it and they do. Like, hip-hop it's like our parent. You know what I mean? Like, we follow, when they were saying be drug dealers, everybody wanted to be a drug dealer. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted to, be, whatever the case. Even our movies, you know what I mean? Paid in full influence a lot of people to want to, like, be money making Mitch and H and everybody. I think that, when you come to a certain, like you have a certain responsibility. Yeah. And, I think that the music definitely, I'm not saying everybody here to go out there and go cop some Percocets, but the younger millennium, they're different. You know what I mean? They're different. And I noticed that when I did my sister, the most of the 20% that are taking Percocets are the younger ones. Right. The younger ones. And taking the 5 and then taking the 10 and taking the 20 now, that's not getting you high no more. Now you're taking oxycodone 40, 50, and then whatever number it is, whatever the case may be. And next thing you know, like, again, you might just be snorting heroin. You might not be shooting. They snort it as well, too. So it might not even be a shoot up. Because, we don't like needles and all that kind of stuff. We're not needle kind of people. But, it is opportunity for you to get higher and higher and go, to where you want to go. So I think that music does. To a certain extent. Like, everybody has their own influence. You know what I mean? What influences them.
Because I remember when I was younger, when I was coming up in my late teens.
Long time ago.
Listen, long time ago, right? But I remember when hip hop, when the gangster rap started coming out, and I listened to it. Now I'm from the West Coast, so I was all on that Ice Cube and that was my twist. But one of the things I used to always see in the videos were 40s, and goddamn if I didn't start drinking 40s. When I was in my late teens.
Oh, I wanted to be Lil Kim.
And now I still drink beer. That's a real thing. I watched it and I wanted to drink 40s. And I drank 40s.
I watched it too. I watched all
So you ain't had nobody
But you didn't influence.
My dad drank beer. Beer was nasty.
Okay, but we're talking about the influence. I'm talking about the influence. I thought it was cool because they were drinking 40s, and I had my little green Mickey's 40, and I used to drink them 40s and Old English and all that.
That was Lil Kim's.
Because I was influenced.
Yes.
But she was influenced by fashion. I was kind of influenced by 40s. 40s. But that's what they were doing. They were rolling down the street. Drinking on gin and juice. Right. That part. And I might be drinking some gin and juice too, but we'll stick to 40s. My mama might be watching this. But I do think that the and not just the hip hop community, our actors. I mean, I think this can go into a whole nother show, but like I have shows like Love and Hip Hop, that influences how our children act. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think that we should have some accountability within the music industry. But yeah, to answer that question.
Okay, so other than
so we're moving on. But listen, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, and you don't like what we said, you like what we said, please leave us a comment about the opioid, because we might have to revisit this again. But you'll see some comments, and we might even attach some links or anything that you might. And if you need help, please look for your local help centers, crisis centers, that sort of thing. That's a thing. But anyway, opioid is affecting us, and it's absolutely, and it's going to continue unless we do something about it. But anyway, in other news.
other news. Now, I know y'all done heard about this. I know y'all done heard about Amber Geiger.
Throw it in the trash.
What?
The whole trash.
Whoa.
Take it out.
Child, tell me how you really feel. Okay, so there's lots of intricacies to this story, okay? Backstory is police officer thinks it's her apartment. She enters into Botham John's apartment. He is black man eating ice cream on his sofa. She shoots him dead in his own house. She's arrested. She goes on trial. She is found guilty. At the trial, during sentencing, which she got 10 years, 5 with parole. She's up for parole in 5. And her lawyers are currently appealing that decision. Yeah. So what I think made this whole story go viral, aside from the fact that this white police officer killed a black man in his own house, was at the sentencing, the brother, Brant John, was very, very fervent in his forgiveness on the stand to Amber Geiger, and basically said, I want the best for you. I know that's what both of them would have wanted. I love you, and I pray for you, and all these things. Can I give you a hug? Gave her a hug in the courtroom. The judge also ended up giving her a hug. Judge Tammy, gave her a hug and a Bible. And since then, a lot of other developments have happened in the story. One of the witnesses, Joshua Brown, was murdered. And that happened like 4 days after the sentencing. And another witness came forward. This was about 8 months ago, but I think now people are actually taking her seriously, and her testimony is credible. Her name is Bunny, and she had said that she had filmed Amber Geiger right outside Botham's apartment when this happened, and she was pacing back and forth, and she was, I guess, saying, I fucked up, I did this, oh my God, whatever. And she sent that over, the footage, and then she started to receive death threats. This girl, Bunny, she got fired from her job. She worked at a pharmaceutical company. How ironic is that? We talk about pharmaceutical. But yeah, she got fired from her job and was receiving death threats. And this was about 8 months ago, because this has been going on for like a year, this whole case. So tell me what you think about Amber. Tell me what you think about Brant and Judge Tammy. Joshua Brown. Tell me what y'all think, girl.
Oh my God. So only, please, if you're, okay. I didn't want to cut you off. Only in our community can we thank and love and hug on the person who just took our brother away.
That's that slave mentality.
That's that slave mentality. It bothered me so. Yeah. It bothered me so when he sat there and when listen, I get forgiveness. Right. But you're not getting no hug out of me.
No hugs.
And Tammy, girl, that Bible.
Tammy.
I just think, I feel like you said, I think it's that slave mentality. I think that we have to, at some point, be able to wrap our arms around each other. Right. Versus the people who are actually here to kill us and who are making it a point to kill us. Like, I just can't imagine. I don't care how drunk I am, high I am, which I don't smoke, by the way, mama. I don't care. There's no way I'm walking to somebody else's apartment.
There's really no excuse.
There can't be. And there's even worse, there's absolutely no excuse for a 10-year sentence on murder. Had I walked into your apartment and shot you dead, I might be on death row.
You might.
I might be on death row. 10 years, 5 years, she might even only do 3.5 on good behavior. But, I mean, I guess that's the price for killing black people.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just be Inspector Gadget, okay? Let's be my inspector. So, she is a former police officer. Sometimes when police officers, patience in detail, they're very observant.
They should be.
So this observant officer, first and foremost, noticed she's having red carpet in front of her door when she entered this apartment. Now, I live in an apartment building. I've been on my phone sometime texting and might have gone for 6th floor. Oh, wait, wrong floor, and got back on. I've never, walked into someone's whole apartment, red thing here, and just jumped in. That's just not happening.
Right.
Makes no sense. But, okay, I'm giving it out. Okay, you were sex texting to some man or whatever. Okay, you was getting hot and got into the wrong apartment. So when you got into his apartment, this observant officer didn't realize that the decor was not the apartment. So when you got in here and you seen this man sitting on his couch in the way that he had it in his apartment, you didn't realize, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Like,
Right.
oh no, she said he was sitting down or something, right? And she said, like, get up, put your hands. Like, you went through this whole thing and you weren't drunk or inebriated or anything. You didn't realize that this is not your home. Like, it just doesn't make no sense to me. Like, I'm sorry, it don't make no sense. Like, you're a cop. You should, like, how did you become a police officer? You have no, like, skills at all. Like, what were you doing there?
I mean, to me,
getting parking tickets?
To me, it was a calculated murder.
Right. It was. I feel like it
I wouldn't
was.
go as far as to say that it was a calculated
She shot him
murder.
dead in his house.
But what motive would she have to kill both of them? What motive did she have to kill him? Or she just felt like, now there have been some uncovered racist tweets and messages in her phone that have been uncovered.
Can I say Alton Sterling? Mm-hmm. Can I say Eric Garner?
Right.
So a loose cigarette was enough to kill that man.
I'm not.
So no, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying I don't believe that white cops have a real reason to kill black people other than that they just want to.
Or they just can.
I mean, you can't. I mean, or they can.
They can.
And they can get away with it.
Right. How to get away with murder?
I don't know. Mike Brown.
Kill a black man and get his brother to hug you with some religious rant
that's-
saying
that's-
Jesus wants to save you.
Well, speaking of religion, because there have been the Freedom from Religion Foundation is now coming after Judge Tammy. She's about to lose her judgeship over this.
She should.
Um,
What's the separation between church and state anyway? Like, where's the separation at? Like, how are you
Can I ask
intervening?
your opinion on this?
What's that?
Judge Tammy, right?
Yeah.
If it would have been me or it would have been somebody of color, would Judge Tammy have given me 10 years? Being a black judge?
But it wasn't the judge that gave her the 10 years, it was the jury. So the jury was able to give her up to 28 years, and it was up to them how much time she was going to get. And I saw two jurors after this all has been done, said and done, they actually did an interview, and it was a white man and a black woman that were in the jury. And they said that basically there was a lot of tears. And during this, 6-hour deliberation, there was a lot of tears.
Tears
they
about
were crying.
what?
They felt like
What? She went into this man's apartment and killed
the black
him.
woman during this interview actually said that this was not like, any kind of other killing at the hands of police. They really believed that this was an honest mistake, that this lady did not mean to do this. It was not intentional, was not premeditated, and she has to live with that for the rest
But then
of
they
her
tried to
life.
pick apart him, saying they tried to get a warrant or something to go
And
by he had
drugs,
weed or
he had
something
weed
like
and
that.
They always try to go
He
by
lived a
the
dirty life, and his house was a
Yeah.
mess. Like, what's that have to do with the fact
So
that
if his
she
house was
walked
dirty,
in
she should have
and
known that
killed
wasn't her. She should have been clean. She should have known that was not my house. It was dirty. It was not my couch.
First of all, this
it was
man's
not.
from the islands. I'm sure it smelled like oxtail or something up in the house. You know that's not your house.
That's what I'm just saying. Like, I just feel like even if you made an honest mistake and came into someone's home, when you got in there, you would realize that this is not your home.
To the mama up.
To the point when you say get up, put your hands up, and all that, and draw your weapon. And who is robbing your house and watching TV and eating ice cream?
Couch.
Right. Eating ice cream.
We don't even do that as robbers. We do it and get out. Who is sitting there like, yeah, girl, eat this ice cream, wait for that? Like, who's doing this? That don't even make sense.
I mean, we could go on and on about this. There's so many different twists and turns and dynamics to this thing, and oh my God, we didn't even get into the Josh Brown situation. We didn't even get into all that, and we could,
absolutely could.
and because oh my God.
Maybe it's a distraction. Maybe something was going on. They just wanted to distract our attention for a while. It just does not
Oh
make
no, this is
zero
all linked.
sense to me.
Look at this whole thing.
definitely
It's something
linked.
going on in Texas because that stuff not just because that stuff that happened in Fort Worth where that man that cop that just happened a couple days ago
Through her house
while she was
her
playing
bedroom
video
window
games.
was at 2:00 in the morning.
While she was playing video
And it was
games.
supposed to be a wellness check.
It was supposed to be a wellness check. Shot her
Come
dead.
on, man.
Shot her dead. But we can go on and on about this. There's
Yes,
so many
we
different
absolutely
stories. But yeah. I
Again,
mean,
comment below. What's your
below.
opinion?
Yeah, how
You think
feel about
conspiracy
it?
theories?
I mean, let us know your
Judge Tammy.
thoughts. Let us know your thoughts.
Tammy.
Leave it in the comment section or go holler at us on Instagram, go holler at us on Facebook. We want to hear it. And if you got some different stories or you got some different opinions, come back, let us know. We might revisit this topic on another show for sure. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So anyway, we got what's next?
for Black Light.
Black light.
Black Light.
Black light.
So during Black Light, we highlight a business, a movement, anything that's going in the community that want to shed the black light on. So this week we'll be talking about Lrevere. I have her sweatshirt on right now. So cute, right? So cute. So Lrevere is a men and women urban brand developed in 2014 by Lavide Revere. She has two brands, Lrevere Streetwear, and she has a self-titled couture line, Lavide Revere. She's been featured in Philly Fashion Week. She's been in videos, film, everything. I love this sweatshirt. It's super, super cool. Got my pockets right here. I'm not always a hoodie person, so I'm glad I like the hoodie look, but I like the whole hood on there. If you're looking for buying, her product, she's on Instagram at Lrevere1. That's Lrevere1. Facebook, Lavide Revere, and it's www.lrevere.com. So next.
Awesome. And we will be putting those links in the comments, in the section underneath too. So check that out. Go like and subscribe to her as well.
Absolutely. I love this. Looks cute. My whole outfit.
Absolutely. She got other colors. How about the? Well, I guess I can't say I don't like anyway. I like pink too.
Right. So also we have another person. Black light on. Black light. Black light. We like a little black light and like shine it around.
Next show we are gonna have some sort of
black light
for sure.
So the next black light is on Miss Ashley Woods.
Wow, love Ash.
Love Ash.
She's a very, very dope girl who wrote a book called She's Ill. She's definitely ill too. So She's Ill is about Ash kind of like talking about how she deals with mental illness. She suffered from PTSD. And she talks about, her childhood growing up, how she's dealt with it with her family and just coming to grips with it and being able to overcome it. The book is really, really good. Good read. It's on Amazon right now under She's Ill, author Ashley Woods. You can go on Instagram and follow her at Ashley _ I think it's 215 as well.
Ash _215.
Okay, so it's Ash. I'm sorry. Ash _215. The book is really dope. It's on Amazon. Make sure you go get it and support Miss Ashley because, mental health is very, very important in the black community and we don't talk about it, but she does because she's ill.
But we will be talking about it at some point.
So stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe.
Absolutely.
And tune in. We will be talking about all the things. And if there's something that you want us to discuss, let us know.
We'll be back. Check out all the links. Like and subscribe. Tell a friend. And we will see you on another Thursday.
Until we meet again.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Beats by Low. Into a different speed.